it's me, Stacie. So Stacie on all the socials. And let's talk, let's chat. Like I'm feeling the vibes. You know, I love me a little pink and red, pink and orange situation. And as I'm sitting here in one of my mini Valentine's cardigans, sweaters, whatever, I'm like, girl, I'm all things red. Okay, so let's put this little Glamaholic wrist pouch on. Like, so I have a lot of people who follow me for the things that I buy, and I share my links because I'm either going to buy it, I'm either going to make it, or I'm going to fuse the two together, okay? That's pretty much the whole gist of my channel. At any rate, I also have something that I wanted to make, and it'll be very quick and brief because I love making me something around Valentine's, okay? I think we should pause to let you know that this started out as a Valentine's video, but my life is a little hectic with work or whatnot. So the video is really about to be about my love for mesh and all the things I have done with mesh fabric, so let's roll with it. Last year I actually bought this sweater, so I didn't make anything, but I did have this purchased from Hobby Lobby, okay? Every year Hobby Lobby always has a really nice mesh fabric. Sometimes it's pink, sometimes it's red, sometimes it's in layers, sometimes it's not. So I have this, and I just think it is so cute. And so I have way more fabric than I thought I did. So I'm here to say we're gonna make a top. I'm gonna tell you that I kind of slick want to make some pants and just put on, you know, like some biking shorts or something underneath it, and a nice like shapewear type of cami, and make it a full-on outfit because I have way more fabric than I thought. But at any rate, the top that we're gonna make is McCall's 8144. I love this, but there's no need for me to have this seam right here. I don't need this, so we're going to hack the pattern just a little bit. So where I'm sure when I cut this out, it's going to tell me the bodice has, you know, like instead of cutting it on the fold, you would cut two, I'm going to cut it on the fold, okay? So it'll probably give me like a little cow neck or whatever, which I think will be super cute because I have one little gripe with this fabric. Why does it have two-way stretch in the direction opposite the hearts? I just feel like it would have made more sense if this fabric had stretch. Let me find the end. Okay, so this fabric, like these are the hearts this way, right? It would make more sense if this fabric had stretch this way. This is no stretch. This ain't moving, okay? This is not moving. But look. Why would you put the stretch opposite the direction of the hearts? At any rate, so, you know, I just need to be mindful of that. Basically, when I cut this, it will not have any stretch whatsoever, but it's okay. Because y'all know I'm the queen of grading something. I'm going to make sure I have plenty of room, and I love an exaggerated sleeve. So we're going to take these sleeves that we have here, and we're going to make sure we exaggerate those on out. And I'm probably going to put like a little piece of elastic right here to make it fit at the waist. But this is going to be cute. Let's go ahead and knock this out real quick. And if you think that you stumbled upon this channel on accident, you did not. No, it was meant to be. So go ahead, get on over there and click that like, subscribe, whatever button, and stick with your girl. All right, bye. So I rarely ever use scissors to cut out a pattern. I'm always using my rotary cutter on my cutting table because it's self-healing, because I'm always trying to save my wrist. Like I said, I cut a lot of fabric. I cut a lot of patterns out. So I'm always going to cut my patterns with a rotary cutter, and I'm always going to cut my fabric with my electric cutter. And anything that I absolutely cannot use my electric cutter on, which is very few and far between, I will use some very sharp fabric scissors that I keep on hand, and that's it. So again, we already know what fabric we're about to use. Just went ahead, trim this out, and now I'm about ready to cut out the fabric. All right, so this is why the selvage edge of your mesh fabric will always be your best friend, because it's not gonna fray. Do y'all see how sturdy that is? So because I told you all I ignored the lower part of the sleeve for A, I just want to basically make a big balloon sleeve. As you can see, I didn't even measure it. Like, I'm using the guide of my cut table. If you need a cut table, I'll link it in the description box. But basically, I just laid it in the middle, kind of tried to guide off of how many inches were on each side. And I moved it up so many inches. And that's it. I'm literally hacking a very simple pattern using 3 of the pattern pieces to my advantage. I've made balloon sleeves several different times. At this point, I should draft my own pattern for it, you know, just the size I really, really want, because I do it so often that I should just be ashamed of myself to not really have this already drafted out. But at any rate, once I cut this out, I'm going to make sure I put like a basting stitch and basically draw it in such that the sleeve cap can fit into the arm side of the shirt, the armhole. And once I close this in, I'm going to turn this up maybe about a 1/2 inch and insert elastic. My sleeve should be like ridiculously oversized and give me the drama that I want. I don't care anything about these pleats right here, because I know that, number one, this selvage edge for this particular fabric is extremely sturdy, okay? You know, most of the time, say you don't have a serger or something like that, you could do a zigzag stitch to stabilize the end of your fabric. But I cut everything, the front, the back of the shirt, and the sleeves, such that I use the selvage edge for stability. You know, mesh, you know what I'm saying? It ain't leather, so you got to be careful with it. But yeah, there's just a little trick that I've learned when working with mesh fabric. Use the selvage edge. It's your best friend. You won't have any issues. So, hey, so let's go ahead and get into this top, McCall's 8144. As I've already explained, the top has a seam in the middle, but I knew I didn't need that for the fabric that I was using because it's sheer and has hearts all over it, so why complicate it? I just went ahead, ignored cutting 2 pieces, and just cut it on the fold. So we have 3 pattern pieces for the top. We have the front, we have the back, and we have the sleeves, which we exaggerated because I want to make balloon sleeves. And we are going to put a piece of elastic at the wrist on both. That's it for the top. And I cannot believe I did not charge my DJI dupe. DJI dupe, you know what I mean. The camera is so good, and I have been busy all day long and have not thought until this moment, when my battery is low, that maybe I should charge this. So there's that on that. So we're on the phone. Let's go. If you don't serge anything else, you need to serge this fabric. Actually, it doesn't even fray as bad as other fabrics that I have used. They have like a lot of thicker interwoven pieces of threading or whatever. But for what this is, for it being this sheer, you know, mesh material, let's make sure that we serge this. But everybody doesn't have a serger, and if you've just gotten one, Walmart has them. I will link one, because there's no excuse at this point, in my opinion, for someone to not have a serger. They are so inexpensive compared to what I felt they used to cost. All right, back piece, front piece, and we have sleeves over to the side. We'll get to those in just a second, but let's go ahead and get to it. So the instructions, which we will definitely modify. And step 1, call for the center seam of pattern piece number 1 to be sewn together at the front sections, but we're not going to do that because we cut it on the fold. So boom. Now we can take let's go to number 2, where it says stitch the front to the back at the shoulder seams to reinforce the stitching of the small circle. Stitch along the seam line over previous stitching for about an inch each side of the small circle, stitching through the circle as shown. Okay, simple enough. So again, okay, so for pattern piece 1, we already got this laid out. Okay, and I want to make sure which side is which. This appears to be the right side. Okay, and for what this fabric is, you know, you just want to make sure you don't have anything bunched up. I just feel like this is going to be such a cute sew. Okay, so this is the front. Matter of fact, before we do that, let's go ahead and sit this one to the side and put a tag into, because with both of them being pretty much the same, we're not going to be able to tell what's what. So let's just go ahead, make sure I know which side I'm sewing on. This is my wrong side. I could feel that the hearts are not raised, so that lets me know that this is the wrong side. Okay. And all of my labels. Sew Stacie, handmade with care. I get all my labels from the Dutch label shop. They're very quick with their turnaround, but you design your own. They have pretty much a template, and yeah, just do what you got to do and can't go wrong. So okay, so this is the neck part. Got a fold line, so we don't want to be too high up. Just want to be on the safe side. I'm gonna just go about right here. Again, who gonna check me, boo? Just plus a little. It's not perfect, but I just need something such that we don't get the pattern pieces mixed up. So we'll just do a little straight stitch up and down. It would help if I was pressing the right presser foot. And I'm using a microtex needle. So this fabric, as I mentioned earlier, has 2-way stretch, not 4-way. So I had to be very strategic in the way that I cut it because of the direction of the hearts. So one would think that the hearts would have stretch, but they don't. They don't stretch side to side. They stretch up and down. What are we supposed to do with it? Absolutely nothing. So it is what it is. I just had to unfold the fabric and fold it in the opposite direction and cut. It's okay. I hope this isn't crooked. If so, oh well. It's mine. So, okay. So at least we know what's what. So as far as cameras, I know in my last video, I was dead set on, you know, Not gonna record on my phone and all of that. Well, I am recording on my pocket camera for vlogging that I got from Walmart. But I have a true Canon EOS T7 Rebel. And the only reason I wasn't using this because I got discouraged. I tried to video with that before and it just didn't work out. But I am the queen of reading a manual. And today I just took a minute, pulled my manual out, and I was like, okay, it's up. And so it's on the charger. I bought 2 spare batteries some time ago because it takes really good pictures. I just really want to learn more about my camera. But that made me really happy. And when it gets done charging, we're going to have some fun with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this front piece again because now we can distinguish our front from our back. Throw this off to the side. We'll fold it up shortly. Okay. So we're going to do right sides together. Turn it over. Okay. Instructions say to, so we're at step 2. So we clip these together. On my wonder clips, we'll use these. I don't want to use pins in this fabric. This is just so delicate. So I'm gonna clip. And I know there's a notch to reach for. I just thought about it. This is why I don't like serging before sewing, because sometimes I don't cut my notches deep enough, and when I serge the edges of the fabric, I will basically shave off the notch that I'm supposed to be looking for to match the front and the back pieces of the fabric together. And that's very important for you to match the front and the back pieces together at the notch, because that keeps them from being uneven when you stitch the garment together. First world problem, nothing over the top that, you know, should cause any true issues, but I just thought I would point that out. That's why a lot of times you'll hear me say I'm a serge in the end, because I, for whatever reason, just sometimes forget to make that notch deep. Okay. Just doing my regular straight stitch. Okay. And again, for this fabric, there's no reason why we should have to iron anything. So this will be a really quick stitch. And I'll tell anybody, preparation takes longer than actually stitching, because it took me all day to prep these 3 pieces. but it just looks so good. I could have done it without serging, but Alright, do the other side. Alright, so we are attached at the shoulders as it calls for. Alright, to form the cow neck, clip the shoulder seam to the small circle. I don't know where that is. Okay, so it says press the seam open. We're not pressing. On the inside, fold the cowl front to the inside. Turn the top inside out. And then I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to do a base stitch and gather across the top of the sleeves to be able to fit the sleeve head into the top. And the reason I'm saying that is because I cut that sleeve so oversized. So oversized. Look good to me. Cause it's just gonna rest down. Is it gonna fit over my dome? What is this gonna do? Oh my gosh, I hope it fits over my head. Let me. All right. We gotta make sure this will fit over my dome. And because I don't want to take my clothes off, we're just gonna do this. So I'm gonna take this. Oh yeah, no. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. Fits over my head. That's all I needed. Oh, this is so cute. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be so cute. Okay, let's get to the sleeves. Sit you to the side. Let's get these sleeves together. So stinking cute. I just need y'all to see how cute this is, okay? I just need y'all to see how cute this is, okay? So It's the shoulder. It's the neck, the cow neck. And then we'll get our sleeves together. But the shirt is done. I mean, I could, if I just wanted to be sleeveless, I could rock this way, but it looks so cute over my head. Ugh, so stinking cute. Okay, so let's work on this sleeve real quick. So I'll move this over to the side, and we will gather our sleeves. And this may be TMI, but I wanted to wear red underwear under here. And for the most part, that would be doable because I feel like it wouldn't be as noticeable. But I am probably not going to take these pictures tonight. So I'm going to wash this underwear, dry it, and put it back on in the morning because, yeah. So y'all know I have a certain trick that I always do when I need to gather something. So rather than put 2 long stitches in and you know, hope they gather like I need them to, trying to fit them in, I just went ahead and turned my dial up to 9 so it will gather on its own. And I'm gonna leave some tails on the thread. I'm just pull this out a little bit because it's going to gather as I stitch, okay? And I'm gonna turn my length up to 5. But we're doing a straight stitch, tension turn to 9 so it will gather on its own. But we want to leave tails such that I can adjust this after I put it under the sewing machine. And remember, I use my selvage edge so I will always know where the top and the bottom of my fabric is. So for what it's worth, let me look for mine, because we're gonna have to fit this in. Ain't worried about it. I'm just go. I can see one slit, but I can't see the other. But it's okay. And if you can appreciate it, you can see it bunching. Uh-oh, my thread got caught right here. And I think we'll call this a good stopping spot. So let's leave a long tail. I didn't mean for it to be that long. My blade clearly is not very sharp over here, but this is my very first machine that I'm sewing on, so it is what it is. But so at this point, you can appreciate the gathering that it did there. And the whole point of this gathering is to allow me to fit the sleeve head into the armhole of the shirt. So I'm gonna leave these long tails. Just clipping the sleeves together. We won't stitch it down until I gather the sleeve on the other. That'll just keep me from changing the settings on those. of thread, and we're gonna close the arm together. Put the two sides of the sleeve together, close it up. And we'll do a straight stitch for everything at one time. So for the moment, I'm just gonna clip it together. And I'm not a fan of like a bell sleeve, because I just, you washing your hands, the sleeve getting wet. Oh, I can't stand it. So when you put that little piece of elastic in there and it balloons out, oh, looks so good. It's gonna be a vibe. It's going to be a vibe. So we're definitely going to create a casing, because again, if I don't put the elastic in my sleeve at the wrist, those sleeves are going to drive me crazy, and I'm not here for that. In preparation to finish up the top, I went ahead and closed up the other sleeve as well, such that when I drop each into the armhole, I will be able to easily adjust the gathered strings at the sleeve head so it can fit perfectly into the top. So we're almost done. All right, so now it's time to drop the sleeves into these arm openings. So, I'm excited. Look at me just kind of playing around with the shirt or whatever. So, I'm turning the shirt inside out because I like to have the top inside out and I have the sleeves on the right side. When I drop them in, I put the sleeve, with the right side out. I drop that in such that the right sides of the fabric are touching. So the right side of the sleeve is touching the right side of the top. If you can recall from each of my sew alongs, I always put like a little snip at the very top where the top of the sleeve should touch the shoulder seam. Okay, so the underarm seam will align with the seams of the front and back of the shirt. Okay, very simple. So the snip at the top of the sleeve will align with the shoulder seam, and the seam at the bottom of the sleeve will align with the seams of the front and back of the top. Pretty self-explanatory if you have sewn a shirt before, but again, I always try to do my sew-alongs such that it will help somebody who is very new to sewing. So, I wanted to, kind of slow this part down just so anybody that had never done it before would feel comfortable, and you'll see what I'm doing. But that's me gathering the string, the thread that's hanging, such that if I need to adjust that sleeve cap, I can, because it needs to fit perfectly into that top. That is the most difficult part of this top that I chose to do. And remember, I elected to not do the cuff that is a pattern piece that comes with this particular shirt pattern. I was like, I'm just going to put a little, casing at the bottom, throw a little 1/4 inch elastic that fits my sleeve. I'm sorry, that matches my wrist perfectly. And then we close it up, and that's it. I just did not want this to be a difficult project, and I wanted it to be something that I could dress up or down. Did I want to put it on, with a skirt? Did I want to put it on, with a heel? Did I just want to put it on with some jeans? So I wanted this to just be a fun, cute something that would still look good even after Valentine's Day left, because I like a theme, but only to a certain point. Like, I like to be able to rewear my clothes. And you see now I'm actually clipping these things in. I try to start at the top, the top seam and then the bottom seam. So there you can see that snip pretty easy. So align that with the shoulder seam. And then you just saw I align the underarm seam with the seam of the front and back of the shirt. I'm going to speed up the rest of this video because, again, I'm just clipping, and the whole point of those gathering strings is to make sure that it fits perfectly. So if you need to pull it in some more, boom, you have it. If you need to let it out some, it's right there. But those strings are very much important. And again, I do not believe in putting in basting stitches, leaving the long strings, and then I pull them. No, I go ahead and turn my tension up to 9, leaving tails at the front and the back of where I need to gather. And once I'm done, I clip them off, and there's that on that. So I chose to not speed up this portion of the video just because I want you all to see how easily this sews in. But it's one of those, I stitch a little bit and then I, kind of make sure I'm not moving too fast. Take my wonder clip off, stitch the next one. Again, I serged all of the seams, so that helps to stabilize. I'm sorry, I serged the edges of all the fabric, so that should help to stabilize this particular fabric. And once I'm done with all of that, I mean, that's pretty much it. But you want to take your time. You don't want to move too fast, because what you do not want to do is have to use your seam ripper on mesh fabric. It just does not always work out. The mesh fabric will win, you will lose. So again, I just kind of took my time, made sure, I fit the sleeve head into the armhole as proper as I could, and I took my time stitching it around. And after I did that, I repeated this on the other sleeve, and that's pretty much it. And if you're wondering what I'm listening to in the background, Face Over Matter is legit my favorite YouTuber right now. I know Jalen has been doing this for quite some time, but I'm very much new to her channel. But I appreciate the Christian energy that she brings. Y'all, I'm very playful, but I've always been very heavily involved in church and in the Word. And it just feels good to go to a channel where she's not even 30, y'all. She's think 28, and she is just so cool but level-headed and puts God at the head of everything she does. She's not lost in the sauce of being a blogger. And again, work is very much stressful for me right now. I wish a lot of things, let me not say wish, I pray that, things go better for me in like the love department soon, because I do want, certain things. I am very close to 45 years old, and it just scares me how fast life goes. And I don't know, she's just a breath of fresh air. Like, I feel like it's like I'm watching her, but I'm talking to my little sister, and she don't even know me. I just absolutely love her channel, so I just wanted to kind of give her a little bit of love. I absolutely love her channel. I love, like, she's fly, but she's modest at the same time. She's just a good girl. I love it. I wish nothing but the best. All the prayers and whatnot for her new union. I think her and her husband have just come upon a year of marriage. And I just love the positive people that I run across, in this realm of life. Because I think I watch YouTube more than I watch cable, and I pay for YouTube TV as well as Philo. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to give that little plug because, yeah, I just thought y'all might be wondering, like, what is that in the background? Okay, and so now that all the sleeves are in, now we're just going to take the end of our sleeve, which should be like a huge bell sleeve at this point. Take it and turn it in probably about a 1/2 inch, and just kind of pin that down, but leave a little pocket, for, well, a little opening, just probably about 1 inch wide opening, such that we can get the quarter length elastic, quarter width elastic through. And I can't give you a measurement for measuring that elastic that goes around your wrist. You just take it, measure it on your arm to where you're comfortable, keep an allowance for the little overlap for you to actually close up the elastic. That's it. After you do that, yeah, babes, we're good. And and y'all know I keep a little reel. And of course, you've already seen this reel before if you've seen my shorts. But I had someone to come in and say, it's so many lights and this is this, and it's just a distraction, it's hard to see. And I respect that because some people have epilepsy and things of that nature. So I guess I didn't think about that, but I love the reel. I was having a moment. Roni from Bobby Brown had just gone off the radio, and I was like, yeah, that's the song I want. So I will give you all pictures, for you all to see actually how this came out versus just seeing the reel. So yeah, we're gonna close that up, throw the elastic in, and we're done. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Enter. Do you see it? Oh my god. The top turned out so cute. Um, if I was going out, I would put this on with a red bra, high waisted jean, a little heel, you know, do something with it. You know what I'm saying? Tease the people a little bit. But because I decided to wear it to church, shepherd mint, cami under the bottom, because that's all I rock underneath my clothes. And these pants, these skants, I made some time ago. Like, I can't remember how long ago, but I love them so much. I need to make another pair. I am obsessed. Um, I just thought this was such a good look. I have on my Valentine earrings and the cutest little square toe slingbacks that I got from Amazon. I think last summer I even had them in silver because my 25th year in AKA is approaching, and I've already started collecting my silver things. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. This is the outfit. I hope you all had a great Valentine's Day. I just think this is yummy. And this fabric, told y'all I got it from Hobby Lobby. I kept it in the stash. And y'all know I love me some mesh stuff. So I just thought this was so good you could taste it. What y'all think? Happy Sunday. Y'all know I'm extra, so I already know you laugh. I don't care. So I feel like Simplicity's 9111 deserves way more love than I'm giving it right now. So I just thought I would throw this in here. I made these so long ago and I was so obsessed with the way they turn out. And of course, I wear them often. But when I first made it, I was heavily into blogging at that time. So I was so excited to make this Georgia turtleneck pattern from Mimi G. I have done so many things with this pattern. Oh my goodness. So we got to take a minute and talk about that. So basically, I got some pink and green leopard print fabric that's actually in the shapes of little girls with afros if you just really kind of zoom in on the print. And I was just so excited. I made gloves to match. I made socks. I just thought it was a look, and I was so excited. But this Georgia pattern has become my tried and true. If I need a quick top that's going to make something sexy or not as bulky, this is what I reach for. I have done so many things with this. I have made this mesh turtleneck without the little butterfly of the shoulder. I've made it in burgundy, as you see here, with me and my mom, pictured at my mom's job's Christmas party. I just threw on like a brown cami underneath, to make it decent, but it really brought my brown velvet suit together that I got from Walmart. Shouts out to Walmart. In addition to that, I've made it in cream along with this Sicily slip dress that I made some years ago for a Christmas brunch with Atlanta Sewing Style. And I hacked the dress. It's the Sicily slip dress by Mason, but I took it, made an asymmetrical cut to the bottom hem and added some pieces onto it. And I just love the way it draped. But the mesh turtleneck was the star of the show. And I even made a sew along for the faux fur jacket that I made to complete this monochromatic look. And why is this the last time that I remember doing anything with Atlanta Sewing Style? Like, where are my girls? Like, where are y'all? Like, we need to do something, like a sew along, little sewing meetup, something. Like, I miss y'all. Like, when I really got off into sewing, it was with y'all. Like, we had some times, like, and it was pre-COVID, and I feel like after COVID, we all just kind of, I think when the world opened back up, everybody was just happy to be outside. But here we are. Okay, moving right along. I made this Georgia turtleneck in black mesh, and when I tell you, it is my go-to if I need to throw it on underneath something, or I may just wear it with a black bra, baby. Who? I'm gonna put on a bra with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make it decent. But yeah, it's just it's my favorite thing. But what gave me the okay, let's get out here and see what we could do, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get in here and do a big one. One Valentine's Day, I had run across the pink version of this mesh fabric that I just made the red top with, and I was like, wonder if I can make like a mesh dress and I could just do so many things with it. I was so afraid, and even the gathers around the bottom of the skirt are not perfect, but I still love that dress. I will not fix what I feel is wrong with it because it's just raw and it's beautiful and it's mine. So I put the Georgia turtleneck with the skirt of McCall's 7242. Like, I literally was thinking one day, had a little piece of a memo note or whatever, and I just went to work, and here we are. This is what we had. I love it. I literally put up my white backdrop in my living room. It was one night, and I took some pictures. I turned my little strobe lights up high, and I just did my big one. I put on like a brown girdle underneath. I didn't have a bra that was dark enough to kind of make it look like the browns matched, but it was what it was, and this is to date one of my absolute favorite looks. It was 2020. I'm not sure at what part, like, were we in the pandemic? Were we out of it? I don't know. But I love, even to this day, locking myself up in the house and just kind of going crazy with my creativity. So, again, I am obsessed. I even have a coffee mug that matches me being on a bike in a dress. Like, how cool is that? So, what inspired me to tell you all about my love for mesh was I recently needed a top to go with the palazzo blanton pants that I did as a pattern tester for So Much Jazz. And I bought this butterfly mesh fabric on clearance from Joanne Fabrics. You know, we miss our girl. And I was like, I need a top and I don't know what. And yeah, I was like, it's time to give this a go. I knew when I bought this probably last year that this mesh fabric would become indeed a Georgia turtleneck. So I had such a good time with my sorority sisters, and I thought you all may want to see how the Andre Leon Talley exhibit went at SCAD Fashion Museum in Atlanta. So here's a reel from that, and stay tuned to the very end for a bonus that I think you all will appreciate. All right. And I learned a really great threading trick for your serger from Aronica, Needle in the Veil. It may help somebody because I despise changing the thread on my serger, because sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's like, what's really going on? Like, I'd rather the thing just fall apart. So let me show you what she does, okay? Okay, first things first, I'll drop this down just a little bit so maybe you can see, okay? So all of my 4 threads are in the bag. This is the pink from the last project that I was working on. We are changing to the red, okay? So the guide for all of your threads is, well, at least on this machine right here. So we have it here, and it shows you how they look. However, the one that always gets me is this one on the very end. So for that reason, and remember I told you, always keep your manuals near. You want to go ahead and switch out this thread first, because everything else is pretty simple from there, even if there's a little break in the process. So let me show you what I mean. So Aronica took the thread, okay, and cut it. I don't have much room, so I'm trying to do the best I can with the demonstration. So let me lift this up just a little bit. Okay. So I can lift this back up since now you know what's going to what. This particular thread, okay, this one on the end, we're going to cut it. Okay. Take this one off. What's crazy is I have something pink that actually needs to be serged, but I don't have that kind of time right now, so we just got to go with what we got to do. So we'll take it, sit it down, run this through here real quick. Okay, take it, make your little knot, okay, just throw your little knot, and the trick or the point is if you make this really nice little knot and clip these as close as possible to that knot, if you serge, it should pass through. Okay, so I'm going to drop this down a little bit so you can see what I'm saying. Just turn it on. And I keep scrap fabric, okay? So let's lift up. And as you can see, pink was the last thread that I changed into according to my scrap piece. So we're going to place this here. Drop it down. And if this works, well, I'm going to have to move stuff because I need a little slack for the cord. Hold on. Okay. So ideally, you will see the red thread come through if it feeds through. Otherwise, you have to go through and change it all the way through. Like you'll actually have to run the thread through the machine. But if it's able to catch from us tying off, then we good to go. So let's pray. Okay, we already see that we have pink here. Hopefully this will turn into red. And let's see what happens. Look at there. See that red? So now I have the red there. And now the red thread is thread it through the machine. Okay. See the red here? Okay. Because threading the machine is not terrible once you get up in here, because it has a guide on there telling you, you know, each one, you know, how you should run it through. And I just don't have time for that. If I could help it, I ain't got time to come all up under here. So you see we have the red, and now we just work backwards. So we'll do the same thing with this one. Like I said, we work from the end, from the fourth one over to the first one. So we'll clip the thread, tie the red to it, replace it right here, and try to move it on through. Now, it works great on these two, which, honestly, the hardest one to thread is the first one that we just did. Yeah, because that's like your looper. I know it's a good day when I can make that happen. So even if I have a break between the pink and the red, you know, that I'm tying off as I move down, I don't mind threading the machine for this one, or this one. Very simple, no sweat. But this one can be a bear, okay? It can really be a beast. And so basically we've gotten past the hard part. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and finish off the others. And that way I can go ahead and serge all of my pieces. And again, I'm excited. I just think this is going to be so pretty. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's get her done. Move her back a little bit. And
I've always found it strange. People really want to save money, but are so willing to toss their whole coin into a 3-foot pool of disappointment. I want to be rich. You don't need to throw your money away. All you need is your phone.
Said you like steakhouse flavors. The ultimate steakhouse Whopper is here. It's rich, it's meaty, it's safe, and it's imagined by you. Try the latest in the Whopper by You series today. President Stacie on top brand. Get refrigerators and fridges for everything. And laundry and fans and company.
Four for four, baby.